Yeah, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Go ahead, get this channel, subscribe, share, leave some messages or comments, hit that thumbs up for the like, notification bell to be informed on all episodes when they drop. Most importantly, if you enjoy this content, please feel free to share it. Sharing is caring. Share it to your family, your friends, your coworkers, anywhere and everywhere in your social media platforms. Let's get this raw and uncut material out there to the millions that don't know we are here. So this is a rare occasion, right? When I drop a doubleheader, back-to-back videos in the same day outside of doing a live stream on a Friday night. You probably won't ever see this happen again, or you might down the road, who knows? But I felt compelled to put this video out there, kind of like a supplemental video or my own response video to the Ahmaud Arbery video, the one that I just dropped right now. Because there's going to be some confusion. There's going to be some people getting in their feelings. There's going to be some people that just don't like it when you speak outside of the status quo about these kind of things. People don't like to hear all of the facts surrounding something. They just want to quickly make something go away, or they need something to bitch about. It's just the way humans are. I don't know why they're like that, but it's just the way they are. And prophets, scholars, philosophers, and everything over the years, over the times, have always tried to cure humanity of a lot of this pointless dwelling on things that are outside of their control, and have tried to move humanity in the direction where you start to learn how to look within yourself. Instead of outside of yourself, you understand that you are a being functioning in a world full of different people, different walks of life, different religions, different cultures. But yet you don't let that be the determinant factor for how you move in this world, or who you move with, or who you choose to embrace in one way, shape, or form or the other. But we all run to these identities. We all run to these optics that we have created for ourselves in this illusion called life. Now, a lot of people see things in absolutes when we're talking about this Ahmaud Arbery. And I said it once, and I'll say it again. I don't condone what happened to him. It was a stupid fucking act on the part of a bunch of jackasses that should have basically just stayed their ass home and called the cops. But whatever, it's done. But does the same kind of thing happen to, let's say, somebody that looks like me, right? 2007, I got released from the California Department of Corruptions and Rehumiliation and dropped on the streets of California with nowhere to live, by the way. I had to go to a sober living house. My mother and father had retired to Las Vegas, and my father died a year before I got out. So my mother ended up losing everything, and she moved in with my older sister, who was a correctional officer in the TDC in Texas, ironically. So she moved out there with her and her husband. And I was left to be dropped on the streets of California with nothing or nowhere to go. I went to a sober living. I ended up meeting this cat there, and we became really good friends. Right? He was from Ovadio in Fullerton. He was light-skinned, right? But he was Chicano, right? Nonetheless. But I became good friends with this guy, man. We used to, chop it up and kick it all the time. We ended up getting the same job together, working for a landscaper, some guy that had a landscaping company out of South County. And a lot of his contracts were in places like Newport Beach, Laguna Niguel, Huntington Beach, Dana Point, all those places like that. South County, pretty much. The coastal area. That's what he covered, a lot of that stuff. So we used to run irrigation, do all the landscaping and everything like that. Well, there was this one day that we had to go to a job site on the bus because I didn't have a car yet. I'd only been out for not even a month. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, the guy that was with me, he was actually went to county jail for something. He had a separate charge aside of his parole. And he ended up, getting out, and he had nothing or anything like that. So we had to ride the Orange County Orange County bus to this location in Huntington Beach. Our boss told us just go there, hang out, wait, and I'll be there. And he has the truck, he has all the tools, he has everything we're going to need. Even our own personal bags of our equipment, like different harnesses, different gloves, and our water bottles. And we even were supposed to carry a piss bottle because he always said, I don't ever want to see any of you pissing on a wall or in a bush and anywhere in these backyards or anything like that, or you're fired. So we used to keep a piss bottle with us and just go sit in the truck and piss in the bottle. And that's how so all that stuff was in the truck. He said he was going to be there. He said he was running late, so we had to wait. We decided when we got off the bus, we went to a park and we hung out in this park. And this is Huntington Beach, real rich Huntington Beach. If anybody knows anything about Huntington Beach, you know what I'm talking about. This is the really, really nice part of Huntington Beach. You know what I'm saying? And you got to have money to live in Huntington Beach, especially that close to the coast. So we're at this park. It was called Peninsula Park. And somebody had pulled some of the letters off of it, and it said Penis Park. And I'll tell you how that's kind of like pertinent to the story once I'm done with it. So we were laughing about it, and we were pointing it out and laughing. We were just sitting in a park. You know what I'm saying? He's smoking a cigarette. I wasn't smoking. I was still, abstaining from smoking, just still fresh out. But I was drinking an energy drink, and we were just kicking it. We were just killing time. We knew we had about almost an hour to spare. So we decided to leave the park and go into the residential neighborhood, which is a very high-class neighborhood. So we're walking through there, and right off the bat, I see somebody in their garage. They're looking at us. We're looking at him. He's looking at us. We walk a little bit further down. Somebody else is driving by looking at us. And as we go deeper and deeper into this neighborhood, we finally get to the house, and we're standing there. We rang the doorbell. Nobody answered, right? So we're standing out in front of the house, and the dude is saying, "Hey, man, what's up with this guy over here?" And I'm like, "What guy?" He's like, "That fucking dude over there." The dude's just sitting there staring at us. I said, "I don't know. Just pay him no mind. Let's just get in there." So we go around the side to the backyard, and he's like kind of lifting himself up over the fence and pulls the latch to open the door because there's no way of opening it from the outside. So you have to lift up over it and pull the latch. Well, he did that, and my boy was kind of a shorter dude, so he kind of like jumped up onto the fence, and he was up on there, and he pulled the latch and opened it. We went in the backyard. So we're just hanging around in the backyard. I had my phone. I'm text messaging my girl. He's on his phone talking to his girl. Next thing you know, a helicopter's flying over us, and he looks up over the fence. He says, "Hey, what the fuck's going on out there?" And I go, "I don't know." And I went and looked, and there's cop cars driving around. There's all these people standing around on the street. Next thing you know, the helicopter. Both of you two come out of that backyard. Put your fucking hands up and get on the ground and all that shit. I'm like, what the fuck is... He's like, "What did we do, man? What did we do?" He's freaking out, right? I said, "We didn't do anything, man. Just calm down, calm down." We go out, and they're all on the fucking PA like, "Get out into the street, get out." And they're all fucking strapped. And we're talking assault rifles and everything, full tactical gear, all this shit, right? Put us straight down in the fucking street. And this dude is like, "Well, hold on a minute, what's going on?" And he's like arguing. I'm like, "Just get on the ground, man. Just get on the ground, get on the ground." Fucking red dot hits me. Red dot hits the ground right next to me. And I'm on the ground. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to tell him, "Hey, man, just calm down." And he's like freaking out. And he finally gets to the ground. And then they just surround us and start kicking us and hitting us. A boot right in the back of my head that was putting so much pressure, it almost felt like my eardrum was going to pop. Handcuffed us up, drug us across the ground over to the side, and threw us into a car. So they go to the house. They're searching the house. They're looking around. They're trying to call the owner of the house, but couldn't get a hold of the owner. The whole time we're like, hey, man, call our supervisor, call our boss, man. We're here doing a landscaping job. "Oh, yeah? Where are all your tools? Where's all your rakes and your cutters and your lawnmowers and all that stuff like that? You're full of shit, man. You guys are here to burglarize the house. So you're being charged with attempted burglary." I'm like, "Oh, wow, man. Seriously? And you defaced the park over there. You defaced the sign in the park, and you made it say Peni's Park. Peni, the gang, Peni." And I'm like, "Peni?" I said, "Motherfucker, do you see my tattoos?" He's like, "Well, you know what I see? I see a white boy with a bald head." It's exactly what he said. "You're Peni." "Oh, I'm Peni, huh? Okay. All right, we'll call my parole officer and ask him if I'm Peni." And my buddy's like, "Oh, sir, excuse me, but I'm Mexican." "Oh, it doesn't matter. You're Peni too. Peni got Mexicans in it." I'm like, "Well, isn't this like, whatever, man. I'm not saying nothing more. I want my attorney at this point." He's like, "Oh, you'll get that. You're getting transferred to the county jail. We've already contacted your parole officer. Your parole officer's going to be in touch with us, blah, 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 this and this and that. You're being charged with attempted burglary. You're being charged with vandalism of the park." And then my boss shows up. Finally, before we were going to get taken away, he's like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening? And my boss, which I didn't know, but he used to be a probation officer for the Orange County courts. So he knew all these cops. They're all potato bumping each other, shaking his hand, giving each other fucking high fives. And he's like, well, what's up? We got these two dudes right here burglarizing house. He goes, oh, those are my workers right there. They said, really? Well, they vandalized the park. And he's like, well, I don't know how. I don't know how they did that because they were with me all day yesterday, all last night. Well, when did that happen in the park? Well, yesterday, last night. Well, no, man, I dropped them off at home after a long job. We were down in Dana Point. So they took the cuffs off us, let us go, and I just told my boss, I said, I'm out of here, man. I'm not going to fucking work in this community. Fuck these people. I was pissed, man. And as I'm walking away, he's like, I'll give you a ride. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I'm looking at all these people in the neighborhood like, fuck all you pieces of shit. Fuck you, motherfuckers. I was pissed off, man. I mean, I could have been shot and killed just because some concerned citizen thought we were burglarizing the place without knowing the facts, without knowing anything was going on. Seen us walking up, no bags, by the way, no gloves, no masks, nothing like that, and we got surrounded by the cops. I'm sharing this story with you to basically get it through a lot of you people's thick heads. That all of this shit that happens in this country is not clear-cut and dry. It's not all of black on white, white on black, race thing, race this, race. It's not always about fucking race. It may be in a lot of you people's absolute thinking minds, but it's not what it truly is. People go according to their optics one way or the other. The media, music, entertainment, all these things, when you see a dude like fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine acting the way he's acting, and you got old Grandma Kettle sitting on her house in a retirement home somewhere in Iowa, looking at him, flashing his guns, talking about smoking people and all the rest of them, what do you think the thought in her mind's going to be and she sees a young dude that looks just like that? The optical illusion that's being created by entertainment paints the picture for these people. It's the optics. Right off the rip, what did that cop tell me? Why did you deface Peninsula Park and call it Peni's Park? I said, I'm not from Peni. You're a fucking baldhead. You're a fucking white dude with tattoos and a shaved head. You're a skinhead. But I'm not a skinhead, as you could see, with my tattoos and everything. And the parole office fucking confirmed that as well. Oh, this dude ain't a fucking skinhead at all. He's actually a confirmed sureño from a fucking... And the cops are like, really? But it just goes to show you that the optical illusion, the picture that is painted, creates an absolute judgment call upon the next person that doesn't even know you. A stereotyped label that is created by everybody on all sides, I'm sorry to tell you. When you see somebody that's in the music entertainment industry, throwing all kinds of money around, shooting people, packing guns, walking around like this, talking all that way, and the average everyday fucking middle American, middle-aged Christian white person that doesn't know shit about any of that stuff sees that stuff, and then they see somebody, they're automatically going to fucking put two and two together no matter what you say. Until they actually ascertain the facts, that's all they're going to go off of what they see. In this community, the only thing they saw was a bald-headed white dude with tattoos. They thought I was a fucking skinhead from Peni. They thought I was trouble. They thought we were burglarizing the house. Bam, the cops were called. Both of us could have been shot and killed. If that dude wouldn't have gotten on the ground, they would have started opening fire. And the minute they just started opening fire, a natural reaction would be for me to react and probably get up and get shot myself. My heart was beating so bad, I was pouring sweat. There was a fucking perfect indent of my body into this ground of all my sweat and of his sweat. Because it was such a fucking tragic, it was traumatizing, man, the whole thing. It just came on all of a sudden. It was like fucking, I felt like I was being framed for murder or something. It was crazy. And that's not the first time that's happened to me. I've had situations like that happen to me all the time, man. You want to talk about racial profiling? You know what I mean? When I was working in a company with a removal service, picking up corpses and taking them to various different places, I got trapped down there in the area of Watts one time, and I got out, You know what I mean? To figure out where he's at, to go inside of a store and ask for directions or something like that. Got back in the truck. I'm driving around. I get pulled over by the cops. What are you doing around here? What are you doing out here? What are you doing here? Are you looking to buy drugs? Are you going to pick up a prostitute? What are you doing over here? Why are you profiling me? How do you know I'm not over here on business? The bottom line that I'm trying to make to you is when we continue to look at everything in an absolute term and pretty much like indulge in our optical illusion of all these things, this shit continues to happen. You know, right off the bat, anybody that lives in a neighborhood who's a concerned citizen that sees somebody that doesn't fit is going to call the cops or is going to try to engage these people. The difference between these Georgia rednecks that killed Ahmaud Arbery and these upper-class white people who live in Huntington Beach is the mindset. You know what I mean? Is a completely different mindset from the two totally different worlds. But it happened. And I use this as an example in one of the comments, and I just thought I would go ahead and share this with you in a video to explain to you exactly why I feel the way I feel and the way I think in a lot of these matters. Because I have been on the wrong side of the law for so long that I've seen all the stuff that a lot of you probably don't see every day. Judgment calls, optical illusion, judgments, absolute thinking, and all these things that happens to all of us. And it sucks and it's unfortunate it happens, and the best way to deal with this is through proper training, education, and learning how to come closer to one another and become more united in achieving a common goal. We all live here as Americans. And that's basically the only way that you're going to beat it. Everything else that's out there so far, fanning the flames and all that shit's not going to cut it. But remember the story that I told you. And then ask yourself, would there have been any outrage for me if it would have been determined that, you know, I was just there doing the gardening work? Would there have been a bunch of people mobbing in the streets protesting my murder in Huntington Beach? Absolutely not. Nobody would have given a fuck. Just another dead criminal. Just another dead fucking white trash piece of shit in the eyes of all those rich celebrity elite power structure motherfuckers that pulls all of your strings. Cut the strings or forever be led like sheep. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, not sugarcoat, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality, and I'm out.